Hello, this is Anime Vision, and this is what if Deku was the only male with a quirk? Part 1. So let's go on and get into this. So, uh, the, so, because of one of her quirks first started appearing, the whole entire, balance or every imbalance in gender equality kind of shifted over to the females having more power. And the imbalance slowly grew as more people, or more girls were getting stronger quirks and everything. And there was a huge imbalance. And then higher positions of power were being filled with more and more people. In America, there was the first female president. And every country in the world was taken over by a female leader, or completely just females. And because of people, pretty much everyone, they had the same mentality that quirk people have about, in canon, they have the same mentality that quirk people have for non-quirkless people. Well, for quirkless people. And that mentality is that they're higher evolved beings and they're better in them in every single way, and they're just insects compared to them. Bakugo. So, so the inequality just slowly starts growing to the point where males are just breeding slaves. Pretty much how it was in America how it was in the America, the 50s. That's how bad it is now. Oh, that's how bad it is. They're just considered breeding slaves and generally slaves, really. So they're just shown to be worthless. Till they realized that some men had the quirk gene, but it wasn't, it was suppressed by, and the difference in male and female biology, those differences, cause the male to suppress their quirks. And it is extremely rare for one of them to be like that. So they deem them phantom quirks. Out of the entire male population, which is going to be way less in this one, since it's going to be a situation like how it was in China. You can only have a certain amount of children, and you'd have, but, they can have as many children as they want, but they mostly, either, whenever they found out it was a boy, just killed them, got an abortion, or just gave them off as soon as they were born. Most people did that, or they would keep them as slaves. So, and females by this point have evolved to the point where every female has a quirk. Every single one of them. Males are the only people. So, because of but the gene from the phantom quirk can still be passed down, still there's able to be people like Todoroki. And so there's more people like Todoroki. And Todoroki would still be a thing. pretty much. So they started doing specific, like, breeding. And, like, so whenever a male would turn 14, they would, like, they'd pretty much, like, do what they do in sperm banks. Do that, like, get that, and I don't really want to go into the description just now. And they'd pretty much, like, and they'd pretty much just, like, start breeding better and better heroes. But being able to have males having phantom quirks would make it all incredibly, like, hard. Like, it would be very hard to get it, so you'd have to have a lot of money. So certain characters are going to remain male, while others are going to be made female, because some characters you just can't get rid of, you know. So because of the specific breeding, people would have different quirks, and some people might have different quirks than canon, or better ones, because more specified breeding. So Inko is going to have a different quirk. She has, like, she's still, like, she has energy. Pretty much, she has manipulation over energy, and she can use that energy to, like, manipulate items. Like, she can make things be picked up. And Hisashi, who I think that's what Deku's dad's name is, instead of just having a fire breath quirk, he would have been, his breeding would have been a little bit different, since he's gonna have a phantom quirk. And pretty much, it's gonna be mixed between an armament quirk, an emitter quirk, partial transformation quirk, and yeah. Oh, and if you're wondering about if a male had a mutation quirk, there would be, like, small differences. Like, very, very small, unnoticeable. Almost unnoticeable. Like, if somebody had which I'm gonna give Deku, dragon type quirk. Like the number 9 hero, I think. I don't remember her name. But, if you have that, then your eyes, if you're a male, they might be a different color. Like, they might be a different color than both your parents. Like, if your parent were to activate, your eyes maybe have, like, a small red pigmentation. But that's like a 1 in a million chance if you have a phantom quirk. Only if you have that. So, pretty much, like, males are getting, like, the downside of everything. So, Deku will be born, and Inko will just, well, time to try again. She just goes like that, and, like, 2 months later, after giving Deku up for adoption, him going into an orphanage, she would try again. A year later, having a girl. And she will have an energy manipulation. like her mom. And so, pretty much, don't know a name, just comment down below if you have a good name. So, Deku will be given a, like, in his, like, orphanages will even less funding than they do in real life. And they'll be way more packed because of that. Oh, because of the stuff. And so, Deku, like, after a few years of being like there and having to do chores since he was 3, and every time he messed up, he would be hit. And it kind of took his toll on him. He was a very unhappy person. Somebody came in, and they wanted to adopt him. He was very happy, and now, by the way, he's 5 now. He's very happy, and the person is just, like, whenever they're in the orphanage adopting him, they're all nice and sound really happy, and like, we're gonna get you some new clothes, we're gonna get you some gifts when we get there, and Dick is like, oh, really, yay, cool. He's like, really excited, like, these are the first people I've ever been nice to him. The moment they get in the car, they immediately start yelling at him and say, they say, you are going to be our servant until you move out. And pretty much, they legally still have to send Deku to school, but he gets a minimal education. Instead of separating boys and girls, there's very few schools where they're not all girl schools, but he gets separate classes. He doesn't get as good as an education anymore. He won't, he's in, now he's in 1st grade, and he's getting the education of a preschooler, only just now getting an learning his ABCs, just now learning that stuff. And he just thinks it's highly unfair. All the girls pick on him and, beat him and everything. Whenever he gets home, he cleans, and then he gets beaten by his 4 sisters, who all have, fire quirks. And I'm gonna say he lives with the Todoroki family. And he has the last name Todoroki now. There's only one person there that's nice to him. And it's going to be Todoroki. I don't have really a good name. I'm just gonna keep on calling him Todoroki. But he has 5 sisters. 4 of them pick on him constantly, and pretty much there's only 2 guys there, which would be Endeavor, but in this one, he's not abusive. He's the male. He's the one that gets abused. He's not having the muscle mass he does in the normal one. Instead, he looks completely tired because he works the entire day. And this time, it's his wife, and they're Todoroki's mom. And she's nice to everyone else. And she's actually the number 2 hero in this one. And she's nice to everyone but Endeavor and Deku. She's like, you're our slave. And the daughters just start cackling like evil. But it's not really their fault, because generations of this happening kinda caused and a sudden flip of power. Just if you just think about that. Suddenly only one gender gets powers, and the other one gets absolutely nothing. And then suddenly, like because of boosted intelligence and everything, the gender that got the power would suddenly like start raising in ranks and the gender that didn't get powers would start coming up with short bringings because of advance in technology, because of the intelligence boosted people, the lack of power from that, and you would kind of just put them like down. So, but even if the powers were like even if everything was swapped, just like if males had the like power and everything, like superpowers and everything, and like this, it'd be exactly it would just, like males would end up like that. I'm not saying that everybody in the world is like that, but yeah. But every day the beatings are continuously getting worse as the children are getting worse. And like Todoroki walks in, and she is she's like the kinder one, still has like a look of still has a look like, you all are not as good as me. And Endeavor just looks at him as he's Endeavor looks at her while he's brewing tea and goes, "You look like you're more like your mother every single day." And then just pours the boiling tea on the right side of her face. Deku hears a scream and runs in and sees Endeavor and Todoroki. Endeavor looking over Todoroki, kind of having a smile on his face, looking kind of crazed, like he's finally just broken. And Todoroki lifts his arms up and looks over at Deku, and you can see the burn mark. And suddenly, Todoroki's mom walks in. I have no idea what her name is, sorry. She walks in and goes, "Who did this? Which one of you did this?" Todoroki pointed at Endeavor. Endeavor's smile instantly faded. And she goes, "Oh, you're dead." She freezes his legs and then just like punches him in the face and puts him she's just walking out the door holding him, dragging him along, and then she sees some police and has them just walk him all over to the police, and they just see that he's completely broken. His nose is broken, he has a black eye and everything. Like, whatever you did, you should not have done that. And they don't know that the black eye and some of the scars on him aren't even from like what just happened. The black eye, his broken nose and everything, or from just what happened. So, she comes in and then starts treating Todoroki, and then she looks over at Deku. And they're like, "Why are you just standing around? Get to cleaning. Get me some medicine for. Okay, get me some ice for his face while we go to the doctor." And Deku just is moving and going and kind of limping because his leg got hurt from a bully that morning. And Deku comes back a few minutes later, and she goes, "What took you so long?" And just smacks him across the face. And at this point, Deku is just mad. He looks back up at her. His eyes are completely red with slits. Like his pupils are slits like a snake. And fire just kind of slowly leaks from his mouth. And he yells loudly, "I moved as fast as I could!" And suddenly, Deku's leg just starts healing. Deku's skin looks more scaly. And Todoroki, completely, almost completely forgetting about his face, her face, she looks up at him. Todoroki's mom looks over too and is like, "What are you? Like, you're a monster." And then she just completely throws him out of the house. And I was like, "How dare you do that to me? Say that to me. How dare you?" And Deku is like, "Oh no, I screwed the pooch in that one." She throws out a hoodie and is like, "Put that over your head." And she goes, "That's the last thing you're getting from me." And Deku kind of wanders the street, and he finds, and a girl comes over and looks at him and goes, "Are you okay? Are you okay, little boy?" He kind of just looks at her and with an angry stare. He being completely back to normal, except like a reddish hue to his eyes, saying, "Leave me alone. I don't want to be hurt by anyone like you anymore." She just kind of sees tears forming in his face. Well, and she kind of walks over, and it's like, "It'll be okay." She gives him a hug. It's kind of was trying to see where his parents are and everything. And he kind of remembers what Todoroki's mom said one day. After beating him, she goes, if you ever say anything about what happened here at any point, you're gonna be dead." And Deku's he's kind of sad, he's not gonna say anything. So he doesn't say anything about what happened to him, and he just looks over at he's just looking down the entire time. He feels like a disappointment, but the girl's like, "Come on." She says she's one of the few girls that actually still have a week quirk. Neither family is ever rich, so they couldn't get any of those phantom quirks. So she was kind of bullied a little bit too, as a little girl. But she says that she makes a living with her family as a construction company. With her husband at a construction company. And it's like, "Would you like to live with us?" And Deku's, yeah. And he's finally being treated like a person. He gets in there, and his husband and the girl's husband walks in and says, "Oh, who's this?" She goes, "Oh, this is, what was your name?" Deku says, "Izuku." And he just kind of pauses for a second. She goes, "Well, you can have our last name. You can have the last name Uraraka. And Deku's like, oh, that's nice. I think that's Uraraka. Was Uraraka's last name Ochako or Uraraka? I have no idea. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna say it's Uraraka. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, her and Deku go outside and play. She's genuinely nice to him. And Deku kind of puts back on Hood for a second, like she says something, kind of giving, kind of flashbacks to what happened. And, Deku's eyes just start glowing red. He looks like he grows sharper. He starts to have scales, and he, pulls up his hood, and just go. And as Uraraka looks at his hands, they see that they're, scaly and blue. Yeah, I'm gonna say green. And energy kind of moves around, sparks of electricity kind of move around Deku. And Uraraka kind of I'm gonna call her Ochako, because... And Ochako goes and runs to go get her Hey! No. And Ochako goes to go get her parents and look at this! And Deku's head's down. They're in their backyard, no one's seeing this. And holy cow. A guy has a quirk, and one he can actually activate. And they're freaking out. It's the first time it's ever been reported. So they immediately take him to the doctor, and the doctor is a female, because the males are unable to get as well of an education. Since everybody thinks, nah, what's the point? This can be store clerks. And the doctor is okay, yeah, he's kind of, she's kind of yeah, he definitely has a quirk. There's two things we could do. One, we could get the quirk registered, and have everybody know that this is the first male with a quirk, and he'd be able to have a great life and everything. And Chaco's mom was like, yeah. And she's like, what's the other option? And the doctor goes, well, we make sure that we end this new evolution before someone else before it replicates. And down Sid, he's and Uraraka's mom's like, no. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not doing that. No. And the doctor's like, okay, great. So let's go and tell the news. Let's go tell the news people. A few days later, thousands of news reporters from every country are there trying to get Inside Scoop, trying to talk to Deku. And Deku was some people following him constantly. And some heroes have to follow him. And even though they all kind of respect that, hey, he's kind of quirk. This might be a new era. And this kid's an inspiration. Suddenly, more and more people are starting to treat him nicer. It was an inspiration. So he gets into school. A few weeks later, everything kind of died down a little bit. And and finally he can go to school. And everyone's kind of all the teachers are asking him about the quirk. And he gets moved up to a higher education, a higher bit of an education class. He's in the normal studies. He's in 4th grade at this point. teachers are asking him, what's his quirk? So, and he just kind of does a little transformation, energy kind of sparks around him, and they see, like, how he's, like, a green, and they see scales wrap around him, kind of shows a little bit of the fire breath, and they're like, do you have wings? And he's like, no. You're like, aw, it's kind of sad. And, well, do you have a tail? He's like, Deca's like, no. And everybody's kind of like, well, hey, you're the first guy to have a quirk. It's still pretty cool. Because, like, he's kind of a little disappointed, but he's like, yeah, everybody's kind of treating him better. A lot better, but not quite like the same as everyone else. And his quirk is named Thunder Dragon. And he's also, well, and Deku starts training his quirk, and he learns to morph his body, having claws. He finally makes it have a tail. He has wings spread out, not that big, but whenever he gets older, as he gets older, they slowly begin to get bigger. Well, anyway, that's the end of this video. Until next time, goodbye.